is Silent Geek, and today I'm going to be talking about the Content ID scandal, the thing that will kill YouTube, according to some YouTubers. Now, if you don't know, YouTube has decided to actually enforce its rules for once, and actually start not allowing people to use copyrighted material, and this has extended to video games. For a long time, video games have avoided this due to a lot of the legal gray areas that video games exist in. For example, because video games are an interactive medium, does that mean that each playthrough is unique, and because of its uniqueness makes it sort of a work of art? Now that's been up for a lot of debate, which has made video games in sort of a legal gray area. But the music used in video games and a lot of that stuff has always been a source of controversy, which is why Guitar Hero videos and dance video game videos have always been Content ID'd. It's only games like Pokemon and Call of Duty and etc. that have been in this legal gray area for a very long time. But now YouTube has finally started to enforce these rules on video games, something that music and movie reviewers have had to deal with for a long time. Now video game reviewers have to deal with as well. The fact that the company that actually made the game that they are playing is actually going to profit off their video. Now, I've seen a lot of arguments and a lot of hurt feelings about this because it's a lot of easy money. A lot of easy money. For 3 hours of work, you could easily make like $100 a week. And that's really easy, cheap money if you have the right views and you know how to promote things. And if your user base is not smart enough to use ad block or many of the other ways to get around the YouTube advertising that is thrown at them. So, what does this mean? Well, YouTube has finally decided to step up their enforcement of the terms of service that you all agreed to. Now, in case you don't know, YouTube is not obligated to let you have any video you want on their website. You agreed to a terms of service agreement. And in this terms of service agreement, copyrighted material is not allowed. Period. Straight out, period. Even a logo on a hat could be grounds for removal of the video. And that's of the video. They technically do not allow it in the video at all. This poster behind me, if that artist in the bottom left-hand corner, if he decides that he doesn't like that his poster is in my video, he could use it as grounds for removal of the video. But a lot of that is not enforced because most clothing lines do not care if you wear their clothes. In fact, they appreciate that you have a logo on it so that you could promote their brand. And most poster makers are pretty much the same way. However, YouTube, in their guidelines, has given themselves this freedom just in case any legal issues ever do come up. And video game legality issues have started to come up, especially with things like, Disney now getting in the video game scene. And Disney is a very big proponent of copyright law, and a very big reason why copyright is so confusing in America. Now, let's look at what some of the arguments of the Let's Players are talking about when it comes to these videos. A lot of them claim that it's unfair. No, it's not unfair. You agreed to terms of service and you didn't read it and you didn't understand what could happen. In fact, YouTube is being incredibly nice because instead of removing your video like they did in the past, they are actually allowing you to keep your video up and have negotiated a contract with the person that whose law and property you violated, and allowed them to make money off your video while still giving you promotion and free web hosting and free video hosting and, a platform. YouTube could have just easily just removed the video and banned your account like they used to do in 2006, 2007, 2008. But they have decided that the problem is too big and too widespread for that to happen. So they allowed you to have your video up. And that's just how it is. And I'm sorry, but you are not guaranteed monetization because these are Google's, this is Google's website, this is Google's AdSense, and both of which have terms of service agreements. If you didn't bother to read the terms of service agreements, both say that you aren't allowed to have copyrighted material, and that it's grounds for removal of monetization and grounds for losing your account. YouTube has been very relaxed on their enforcement. Now, let's go on to what people are using fair use. First off, you are guaranteed fair use and you are using it. But there are two problems with this argument. Number one, a terms of service agreement for a privately owned website is not grounds for the United States law. Yes, you can record a video. Yes, you can make that video and you can show it privately to whoever you want. But once that hits the web, the person who actually hosts the website is the one responsible. And they get to dictate what's hosted on their website through their terms of service agreement, which you agreed to. So no, fair use does not apply to you because you aren't hosting this video. If you were hosting this video on your own private website, you'd be totally grounds and okay, and yes, I would agree with you. But because you're using Google servers, because you're using their Flash player, because you're using their account, it is their video. And they've provided the hosting. They own your video. You do not. You have no legal grounds to that video. You chose to upload it to YouTube. If you read the terms of service agreement, you'd know that. But you didn't. So yes, you do have fair use if you want to host it privately on your own website. And even with fair use, you are not legally permitted to make money off this video and to have monetization on it. So yes, you are allowed to make the video. And yes, you are allowed to host it on your own website. But making money off it is another legal gray area, because there's a lot of laws and restrictions on using copyrighted material in media, period. This is why News Corp and all these huge news organizations tend to show the same clip over and over again, because in order to make money off this stuff, you have to either get written legal permission from the owners, or you have to purchase the rights to use it. So no, fair use does not apply to monetization of videos. It only applies to the making of videos, and was intended as a way for college students to do research and use brand names and product names and videos and stuff in their research, and also for news organizations who need to cover something quickly and do a breaking news and have to use a clip. But even then, they're limited. It's like 30 seconds of a song or 20% of the material. I'm not exactly sure. I'm not a lawyer, but that's the case. So, in actuality, the YouTube Content ID laws are not anti-user, they're actually pro-user. Because instead of YouTube allowing these companies and putting the blame on you to sue you for $110,000, like some of the people have for downloading music, they have decided to fight the legal battle for you and negotiate a legality issue for you and, protect you. They not only protected your content, they not only still hosted it, but they decided, not to allow these companies to go after you for using these content, because they know that a lot of you are ignorant to some of these laws, which is safe to say in a casual user base like YouTube's. So, that's what I think of the YouTube copyright ID laws. I think that they're actually a very pro-user thing. It keeps a lot of the YouTube users from being sued. It allows the copyright protectors to make money and be happy with user-submitted content, and it still allows Google to host your content for free. Samuel out.